fishing through the movieverse tonight. Chasing aliens, bad plots, and CGI that ain't quite right. Dave leads the charge with the captain's command. John's the rookie, still learning where to land. Shane drops beats that walk through time. Chad fixes tech with precision so fine. The Sci-Fi Guys. The Sci-Fi Guys.
And we are these Sci-Fi Guys. That's right. It's me. And with me is Chad.
Oh,
And of course, we've got the John.
What up?
With
I'm
the
just glad I
little-
wasn't like second today.
With the glowy thing over around his head. And
No
Shane.
green screen.
What's up, everybody?
leave John to be quiet. Yeah, I couldn't hear when he came in.
Well, he came in. Let me get
Wow.
to the right slide here. All right. Today, before we even talk about the movie at all, you know what? Oh, crud. I'm supposed to give the synopsis because I'm the one who picked the movie. No, I can fake it. I've seen this movie so many times, so I'll just fake it.
We're waiting with bated breath.
Yeah.
Yes,
well,
we
we'll
are,
fake it.
Dave.
We'll fake it. But first, how's everyone's week been this week?
So far, so good. Didn't have work today. Felt good.
Yeah, I was about to say, we are on winter break, and it is wonderful to have just a day at home doing absolutely nothing other than work that needs to get done at home. So,
Oh, I wish I had that. I had physical therapy this morning, and I was at the church for about 4 hours today.
I say
Finishing
you're
up-
retired. You shouldn't be working that much.
I know, but I was finishing up because Shane helped me yesterday. We took everything out of the back room, the live stream room, because they're going to start ripping it out and building more seats up there.
How's it going so far?
They didn't even start.
Of course.
Lord have mercy.
So, hold on a second there. Anyway, so yeah, that was about it. Other than that, my back is a little bit sore because of one, getting beat up by the chiropractor, and then two, lifting stuff and walking down the stairs and walking up the stairs and walking down the stairs and all that. So
Up and down.
yeah, exactly. Well, anyway, today we are going to be discussing this movie, and the movie is Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home. Okay, here's the brief synopsis that I forgot to look up, but I can basically tell you. Kirk and crew were coming back from Vulcan because Spock had finished up all of his stuff to get his memory back in, and on the way back, there was a probe that came to Earth, and no one knew what it was, and it was doing devastation of land and ships and everything. So Kirk and crew went back in time to the 1980s and rescued humpback whales and brought them forward in time. And then, spoiler alert, got a new Enterprise at the end. How's that?
Mhm.
I mean, it's accurate.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
So, yeah, that's basically it. What is the thing? Oh, yeah. Last week, we had Chad leading the way in our Metacritic thing. He has 4, Shane has 1, and John has 1. So, this week is
I
the
think
week
better of myself.
that you guys should be able to get a chance to redeem yourselves, maybe. And all right,
Well, we tried
let me-
last week. It didn't work. So we'll see if it
Yeah,
does
well,
this week.
this week I'm going to ask Chad. You go first. I would normally go first because I picked the movie, but I know the answer. So, Chad, you go first.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with
What did Metacritic rate this movie?
was it Metacritic? I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna go maybe 60 on this. I mean, it's a good movie.
Okay. Let's go with John.
I'm saying 76.
Okay. Shane.
What do you? Cause I can't hear him.
He said 76.
Ooh,
Okay. Shane.
I'm gonna go kind of in the middle and go 67.
67. 67.
six,
Yeah.
Look,
Ah,
just
smack
that
this
in the
shit.
transcript alone will get us at least 20 views.
At least.
I'm just saying.
At least.
And the answer is 71.
Oh, did I do it? No, Shane got
Yeah.
it.
So the answer, the winner goes to Shane.
By
Woohoo!
a point.
Woohoo!
Dang it.
By a point. Yeah. Yeah. So
Rude. Just rude.
that's it. Hey, it is what it is, guys and girls.
Doesn't mean I have to like it.
I know you don't have to like it, and I'm sorry. There, I got to do this. Okay. So let's discuss the special effects. What'd you guys think? Remember when it came out? It came out what, 1986?
86.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, listen, this so far of the Star Trek movies we've seen is the first one that I felt was actual, like an actual movie, actually cinematic, if that makes sense. That comes down just to the overall look and camera movement and all of that. I think it also comes down to the time it was made. It has that 80s vibe, 100%. And so overall, special effects, cinematography, I think it all just made it feel much more of a blockbuster film. And so overall, I was here for it. The special effects, honestly, I wouldn't say they were ahead of their time, but again, they were indicative of a blockbuster of the time. So I think they very well fit the movie. They didn't distract from the storyline at all. And honestly, I mean, I have no qualms about any of it. It was a real solid film overall in that regard for me.
I agree. I think everything fit together very well. It definitely had that 80s vibe, but I'm here for it, and I think it just went very, very well. When we get into the story, I think the storytelling was spectacular with this. But I think that as far as special effects, kind of like what John said, nothing really stuck out as far as being too much or over the top. I just felt like it really went together very well. Made for a good movie.
The even movies typically do pretty well for when it comes to the Star Trek franchise. The odd movies, okay. I think the last one we watched, Search for Spock, was probably the best of the odd movies, or close to it. So
Yeah.
that's saying something.
Fair.
For the effects of this, you can tell it's old, but other than that, it was good for this time. I mean, it was at least better than some of the other ones that was trying to mimic Star Trek, or even just trying to get going off the floor. So even it was better than Mario.
Of course, it fared better than Mario because
Lord, I
movie
hope
stunk.
so. Good grief.
To me, the special effects, you didn't have very much, honestly. You had, I think they did a decent job with the bird of prey at the beginning of the movie. But then when they did the bird of prey over the, when it was flying over and the harpoon hit the bird of prey, I thought that wasn't done very well. But I thought they did a really, really good job on, as Scotty says, the beasties, the humpback whales. I thought that they really made them look. I know a lot of that was CGI, especially when they were inside of the bird of prey. But I thought they did a really good job on that. But most of it was basic filming. They didn't have to do too much special effects other than the beginning and then at the end, you know, I thought the probe looked kind of weird, but I get it. It just you didn't want it to look like a ship, so you know, yeah,
cylindrical.
yeah, exactly. Okay, the plot, the story. One thing I liked about this is it followed directly after Star Trek 3. It really did. It tied all that in, especially the very beginning scene when they were like, "Well, look what Kirk did. You know, he blew up the ship," and it's like, "Well, you were attacking it." You know, so it was actually using clips from the previous movie, and I liked that part of it. I thought the story was plausible for then. You know, one of the questions that when I was searching for, you know, some questions to ask, it was like, you know, does Star Trek do time travel too much, and do they do it well, or does they just get by? And I thought this was fine. You know, it is funny though, the more I look at, you know, movies that I grew up with and loved, and now we're looking at it this way with a kind of a critique on it, and it's like, ooh, oh, and then I start seeing things that I never saw before, you know, and like, oh, what about this and this and this and this, you know. I know it's the 80s, and I used to wear a headband, you know, all the time, a lot of times, you know, because it would hold back my beautiful mullet that I had. You know, you had to keep all that out, you know, from flapping all over the place. But most of the time, those were bandanas. You know, they were just bandanas that we did. But I get it. What did you guys think of the plot or the story?
I love this. Hold on. I don't know who's going.
Go ahead.
You can go.
I love the story. I agree with you right there with the going in from Search for Spock into this movie. It tied in very well, and even using some flashbacks, time travel, they did okay because I mean we've seen better, but for this plot line going from the future, like where they coming from the future back to the 80s, seemed like they would have already fixed this. They already know they Kirk told Spock, "Hey, can we time travel around the sun like we did before?" It's like they've done this before.
Yeah, well,
So-
they were, if you remember the original, I know Shane and John haven't seen every single episode of the original series, but they did go time travel back, like 3 times that I know of, 2 or 3 times. So
yeah, it makes it, but with the plot, it ties in very good with the story from the last one into this one, and let's wait to see what they do on the next one.
Yeah, there you go.
we're not there yet.
I know.
It's not for a while, but you know, it's fine. Honestly, the story I'm fine with overall. No major qualms. I think this story is probably, I don't know, it definitely had a different feel to it. And I mean it's a lot more campy. Like it's not actual campy. Like it's not like classic animated Batman that we brought, or not animated, but the classic Batman show we brought up several times. It's not like that campy, but compared to the more serious ones we've already seen, like relative to those, this one felt very campy and just like, let's go solve this problem. We have to go save Wells to do it. And so if I had any like qualms about it, like that's the one I'm like, I don't know if it matches the rest of the series. But it was kind of nice to have a respite from the serious tone, considering like we weren't very far in and they just kill Spock off. And then the next movie, they bring him back. Like, so we've had 2 very serious films. So I get why they wanted to shift the tone. That is the one part that threw me off. The rest of the story, sure, time travel, go save Wells. The Wells can communicate with the probe like that. Okay, fine. I'm fine with all of that. But it definitely felt a lot more campy, gun-ho comedy.
Yeah. The storyline to me really felt more like what you would see in kind of a TV episode, I think. Whenever you think about when it's with the whales and things like that, it felt very different. But I'll be honest, it's one of the things I like about it is that it's different.
I'll say real quick, that was one of my thoughts, was like it felt like a sitcom episode where you go on a wild goose chase in the episode.
Yeah, just done very well and very big, I felt like. but I think they did a really good job, and I enjoyed kind of the swerve from like John said, the seriousness of Wrath of Khan and Search for Spock and all of that. Um, I just think they did a shift, and we'll see this kind of when we talk about the music also. But I think that's one of the things I liked about it was that it was different.
Yeah, it was quite a bit different. Speaking of different, how about the music? To me, all the other ones up to this point, you could tell they took like a shift in music. And I was actually at the beginning of the movie, I was like, is this really Star Trek? I don't remember this intro. It just sounded different than all the other ones that I've heard. Most of them have that baseline music, where when I say baseline, meaning it sounds the same, like when you hear Star Trek The Next Generation, the da, 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 da,
Yeah.
it's Star Trek The Next Generation, and most of these movies were kind of like Wrath of Khan, and even Star Trek 3 were that big orchestratal, or is that the word? Yeah. I mean, it just had that big sound
Orchestral.
and all that.
Yeah.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
this one just, I don't know, it seemed flat. The music just didn't seem the same. I don't know. What do y'all think?
I mean, I agree. It's not, again, overall, the film had a different feel. Maybe the music tied into that. It definitely wasn't, like you just said, the big orchestra tie-ins with huge cinematic, like, here's this big scene happening, which, again, still kind of common for the time, I feel like. But also, you had other films doing a lot of that. So, you can't necessarily say that was the norm. It definitely wasn't the norm for Star Trek, at least the three we've seen, of the three we've seen so far. I think I would have liked to seen a little more heavy hitting on the music personally. But again, I think it fit what they did with this storyline.
Okay, Shane, tell us why we're all wrong.
Well, actually, y'all are right, and there's reasons for that. Number one, with it being so different, the reason for that is because the person who wrote the music for Wrath of Khan and Search of Spock did not come back for this film. So James Horner was a composer for Wrath of Khan and Search for Spock, and it really gave a certain kind of sound specific for him. Well, for this one, it was Leonard Rosenman, and Rosenman was known for scoring fantastic Voyage and also the 1978 Lord of the Rings animated movie. So he really brought a completely different kind of feel to this, and honestly, it kind of fits the movie. It's much more whimsical, kind of. I think it's not as serious. It's not as deep as Wrath of Khan and Search of Spock. So it does kind of fit the storyline. One of the things he does, Dave, you mentioned the main theme, was that he actually took the main theme and he built it off of a 6-note melody against a 4-note brass motif that just repeated and repeated and repeated. So it sounded very much different. But also one of the things that he did was he put a lot of different genres in this movie. Okay. A lot of classical stuff. But also whenever they were in San Francisco, and this was the thing that I loved, he mixed in so many different kinds of 80s sound. He had some jazz fusion from bands such as the Yellow Jackets, things like that. He even used that punk song. I think it's called I Hate You, when the guy was on the bus or whatever. So he really threw in a lot of stuff in there, and it really fit the film. It fit the storyline. It's just supposed to be different. It's supposed to be kind of a search for things. We're not really sure. There's not one consistent thing, and I felt like it fit very well. But as you said, very different.
Yeah, very different. I'm just surprised that Paramount didn't have the rights to the opening song, and they
Mhm.
could have just said, "Hey, this is what we're opening with. You can write the rest of it." But
Right.
they didn't. So, um, okay, what y'all think of the cast? I mean, it was funny. The Shatner really wanted to show that rug he had was really good. Because he had that underwater where he's swimming and all that. But what did you guys think of the cast overall?
I mean, it's really hard, I think, to speak on a cast that didn't necessarily change at all.
Yeah, it
Now,
really did. You're right. It didn't change.
Mhm.
I
Which
will
is a good
say
thing.
though, it was a good thing, but it was also
Yeah, it's a
nice
good
to
thing.
see them more on screen because I feel like we focus less on old Captain Kirk
Uhura?
here.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
and so we were actually able, I think, to see the crew and a little bit more of their personality, and that part I did like a lot more.
I think it showcased the crew in its entirety very well. You had the different spots like where a couple of them went here and it showcased them. A couple of them went here and it showcased them. So you kind of saw them equally and their personalities equally. And I thought that was really good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, the only one that went solo was Sulu,
Mhm.
because he was the pilot. So, and he had to go fly the learn how to fly the Huey and all that, real short and all that. But yeah, I thought the interaction, especially when they got down into pairs, I thought that was a much better way to do it.
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
was. I don't think you could have done the whole team effort. Is hey, we all got this one thing to do. I kind of like, okay, we need to go here to get this. We need to go here, get this, and we need to go here and get this. And we need to go here to get this. So they ended up working out and getting everything together at the end. But it was still, to me, it was good that I you could tell they interact well because I mean they've been together since the 60s,
Oh,
so
Yeah. And Shane mentioned in the bus scene, the music. I hear recently saw something similar to where they showed that scene in a different scene from a different movie of the same response. Hey, can you turn that off?
Mhm.
They're
yeah.
like, and then they were surprised, like, Spot goes up, Vulcan death threat.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think they did that in like a reboot or something or whatever.
It wasn't Star Trek related. It was something.
It was something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was a comedy. It
Yeah.
was wasn't Free Guy? I don't remember. Anyway, I don't remember what it was. But yeah, you're right. It was like that. All right. Well, now that we've discussed really the big things that we wanted to discuss on this movie, we haven't talked about questions yet, but let's go ahead and rate this. All right. On this segment of the show, we're going to rate this movie on a scale of 0 to 5 lightsabers. I know everybody's going to be like, one of the questions that I even said, what do you like better, Wrath of Khan or Star Trek 4? And I'm like, Wrath of Khan by far. It was comedic, which was different. It's funny when I see, a lot of people are like, oh well, different is better, right? Well, you ever seen that the those motivational posters where you see the one that says unique, but it's got the fork that's like bent all different ways? It's like being unique is not necessarily a good thing,
Yeah.
But in this case, I thought it went well. One thing I mean, it was definitely dated. I mean, it's definitely dated for the 80s for sure. I missed the action. I thought that there wasn't nearly enough, of action. There was action at the end when they were trying to open the door. Ooh, that was just a suspenseful time. but that
Go.
was it. You know,
Go.
and then
Quick.
there was no
Yeah.
other real action to
Yeah.
me. I am going to rate this.
Go.
Oh man, all the Trekkies out there are going to kill me.
Um,
I'm going to rate this at a 3.5.
Dave.
It was a good movie, but you know, I thought the acting was so. I mean, really,
Yeah.
I thought it was subpar, honestly.
I'm sure.
You know, yeah, okay, it was cool that he's like, and sir, it's the Enterprise, and it's like, how do you know it's the Enterprise? You can't see that far away. Chekhov wouldn't have known that, you know, and it's funny seeing these actors in other roles, like Chekhov. If you watch Babylon 5, all right, he's kind of a bad guy in there. I'll just say kinda. I think it's one of his best roles. He is fantastic in that show. So, and this, he's just kind of okay. He's Russian, you know. I mean, honestly, he's Russian. That's the only thing that's in this. That's
Well,
in this
where's he
movie.
Russian to, Dave?
Oh wow, Badoonching.
What is the?
All right,
Nicola-
somebody else wants to
I'll
rate
go
this.
with you on this. I agree with Dave on this. It was a okay movie. It wasn't as good as Wrath of Khan, so just the comedic relief on it only gives it a 3.5. Because you gotta think of the check. Like I agree with Dave Chekhov. You see him in this movie. Where is the nuclear? Where's trying to
Yeah, the nuclear vessels.
vessels?
Vessels.
Vessels.
Yeah, Shane, how about you?
I would say that this was definitely different, like we talked about. Some of it was good, some of it not so much, I felt like. Nothing really kind of stood out as like this is a huge impactful movie that would rate up there with like Wrath of Khan or anything like that. Was it bad? Absolutely not. Was it great? No. So I probably would think around the same way. I will say that I did enjoy the actors' chemistry. I thought that was really prevalent in this movie, and I feel like being able to highlight each of them individually, I thought was really cool. So I was looking back at my ratings, and I do definitely have to rate this higher than Star Trek 3. So I'm going to go with a 3.5 as well.
John, are you going to make it a clean sweep or?
No,
Or are you
don't-
going to be different?
I don't think so. So I give it a lot of points for being high quality. Honestly, of the Star Trek films we've watched, this one felt like the highest quality in terms of like cinematography value. Let's put it that way. I think for them to go such a different direction, there's no doubt it's still Star Trek, which I actually really appreciate the fact that we can dive so deep over here and still end up feeling like Star Trek. Like the fact that they took such a turn and it still feels like home. I think that, I mean, props. Now, the one thing I didn't like so much is, again, how far that swung. But overall, high quality. I really enjoyed it. I'd watch it again. It's up there with some of the other movies we've watched this year for me. And so I put it actually at a 4, slightly higher.
Wow.
In the same realm as you guys, just slightly higher.
You're right there, you know, but you couldn't just go 3.5 and just made it a clean sweep. But
So
No,
close, but yet so far.
Hey, in all fairness, I did rate it first.
I know.
Not on screen.
I
but-
saw it on the spreadsheet. So
I know
were
that's why
three?
you're making this big to do, but no, I was first.
If you're not first, you're last. Wait,
Yeah.
sorry, that's a different movie.
This is the last among equals.
yeah. Okay, I got a couple of questions. What you get your opinions on? Okay. Does this movie argue that the future needs the past, or that the past needs the future?
Yes to both. I really enjoyed that particular aspect of this movie, and I think that it's so important, and not to go on an ecology trip, but I think it's so important that we are very careful of what we have, because it's one of those things, like the old saying goes, you don't know what you have until you don't have it anymore.
Mhm.
And I feel like this movie, to me, in kind of a subtle way, brought that out, and I actually really enjoyed that. And I think it's very important that we realize that what we do in the past is going to affect our future. And as of right now, that I know of, we do not have the ability to go back in time to fix. Now, yeah, now I'm sure somebody's working on that, and they may have something we don't know about. But at
I
the same
mean,
point, that's my thought.
you have the Mandela effect. I think, if there's an argument for time travel being real, Shane, it's the fact that Berenstain Bears is actually spelled with a different letter, and Fruit Loops is spelled differently, and
True.
the Fruit of the Loom logo has the cornucopia. Anywho, I'll get off of that boat. Past
Or that
relying on the future.
every few years, that if you go back in time, you can see that the the date on the DeLorean is the current day.
But past needing the future, future needing the past. I think if one thing is guaranteed, even in this film, the future needs the past, because without it, you don't have a future. However, to say the past needs the future, I think this film brings the fact that would be useful about. I don't necessarily think that is the focus. However, it would be very useful if you could see the future and understand how any decision impacts, the future. It would be so nice to know, oh, this great decision we're all making is going to greatly devastate us or greatly make us thrive, and then just be able to make decisions along that line. However, I think in life and in this film, it more so says the future needs the past.
Chad, what do you think?
Yes to both. I agree with Shane on this. It's like, I don't want to go into heartstrings on this, but yeah, you don't know what you miss until it's gone. And think about it. Who knows in the future, someone or something is out there looking for something that we hunted, or we overfished, overhunted, or even just killed for the fun of it. I mean, it's not going to look good on us. Oh, hey, and then go back in time to go rescue them, and hopefully they give us a good review. So,
give us a good Yelp review.
hey, I'm gonna bring you back to. I'm gonna save you from what you about to happen here. But I'm gonna bring you back where we really need you to pull a good string from us. I mean, but the thing is, you see, all this is a movie. It's going to happen. They have to have something good to happen in besides them going back in time and rescuing two whales from getting killed and hunted. But yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to answer with this. It's yes to both. We need the future. We need the past. Past needs us. We need the future.
Yeah, I mean, you guys all said the same thing. I mean, we're pretty much all in the same boat. I mean, we do need both. I mean, I am a hunter. For those of you out there that didn't know, I'm a hunter. But at least in our state, they're like, okay, they keep track of how many there are out in the wild, and they're like, okay, they give us quotas. They're like, okay, you only can do 2 males, but you can do 10 females because we have an overpopulation of females right now. But they keep track of all that and let us know, okay, we're at the same thing. You would think over, of course, this is the 80s, so I'm not sure what if any of that was around then or not, but you would think that eventually over time, if we're thinking about this now, that they would have been like, okay, well, the humpback whales are still around now, but they would put some kind of protection on them, and stop the pirating and stop all this, over time. So that way we wouldn't be in this boat, that we, because they endanger whenever they put stuff on in the endangered species list, now that you're not allowed to kill them, because they are endangered. So I don't know. It's just, you think they'd be able to Excuse me. They would have figured this out earlier. Okay, is the alien probe villain brilliant or anticlimactic?
I think it's anticlimactic on this because all it does is make it sound like well sounds that everybody else couldn't figure it out but Spock, and you had Spock's dead at Starfleet headquarters. So I mean, you got to think about it.
We'll get into fixing it. We'll get into.
I'm not fixing. This is not fixing. It's just putting it out there. I mean, but you think I think it's more anti. I mean, it could have been something better looking cylindrical feature instead of just a cylindrical feature with a round planet coming towards the planet Earth. I mean, other than that, it was just okay. You're here to communicate to Wells now. Like, okay, let's.
Yeah. Okay. What do y'all
I mean,
think?
it definitely
Go ahead, John.
it was a weird like villain, if you will, just overall, because it didn't really feel so much villainous. It's just kind of there, and the rest of the story kind of just dealt with them dealing with the general villainy of humanity, I guess, in killing Wells. And so it definitely seems like really the antagonist is not so much the probe. The probe just brings about the conversation of the real antagonist. And so I wouldn't necessarily say the probe is anticlimactic so much as it's not necessarily the true villain in the story. That's where I would kind of head with that.
Shane, what about you?
I really don't have much. Excuse me. I really don't have much more to add to that. I just think it was just weird.
Yeah,
it really wasn't a villain.
I agree. I'm not sure. I mean, yes, it caused issues, but I'm not really sure it was. I would consider it a villain. So I mean, even on the spreadsheet, I put villain with a question mark because I was like, was it really a villain? It was just trying to communicate, and okay, it knocked power out. Is that really a villainous? I don't know. Well, since we're at this point, let's fix or improve this movie. Okay. The probe. Let's go right there.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and fix the probe. Make it communicate, some way, where it's not so confusing. Yeah, on what it is. Spock is not the only Vulcan in Starfleet anymore.
Yeah.
So, and somebody else is just as intelligent. They should have figured it out. Also, it was Spock and Uhura that figured it out. And they've been on this thing away from that they're the only ones, and you'll notice here in the next couple of movies that they're set for decommission. So they've already done their 5-year mission. They've been together for a while. So, they were the only ones. And then I think they need to fix the whales things. At the end when they're kind of like floating up like this, and then they're singing. And I'm like, wait a minute. She even said they're mammals. They can't do that. They have to breathe. They have to be able to go up and breathe. So it was just, to me, some of that, I think they could have fixed on and improved on. There was some great scenes, okay, the thing with Chekhov. And I was like, okay, like the phasers and stuff, I'm assuming those were Klingon phasers and communicators and stuff, because those were not Federation issue, And then what happens to the phaser that he dropped? They never went back it up, So, and I didn't like, and the whole thing with, with Dr. McCoy, he just puts the thing on his head and just stands there and does nothing, and just like, come on, get better. It's like, that's your whole thing of being a doctor, is just telling him to get better, and then he's going to get better. At least give him a hypo spray, do something to show that you're a doctor, not just, and how did she know what to hand him? So those are just little pet peeves of mine. I think there's, those need to be tweaked. Somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with. Like, was John going or?
Oh no, I was just saying fair
I
enough.
agree with Dave with that. With the
Delay.
No,
Anybody
yeah.
else got anything to fix? I mean, if not, I mean we're at our time now anyway. So, going once, going twice. All right. Hey, for those of you out there that are watching, we are here in a couple of episodes. Not next one, but in a couple of them, where we're having those sci-fi guys come on here, or we're going to there. I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure it all out. So, it'll be fun. We're actually going to be watching a current movie that just got released on. It's on Hulu now, but it was a movie from last year, but it was the end of last year. So we're gonna have them on there, and we're gonna look at this and just kind of pick it apart. So anyway, that's it for this episode. Until next time.
Crash and burn.
These Sci-Fi Guys is an independent broadcast and is not affiliated with this movie or TV series. We would love to hear from you. Please contact us by leaving a comment below or by emailing us TheseSciFiGuys@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, or share this podcast with someone else who enjoys science fiction.
Subscribe or be vaporized.